as it's soon to be St. Patrick's Day, I decided I really wanted to watch something with an Irish theme to it, and I chose The Leprechaun. This film is absolutely brilliant. Made in 1993, and it stars a pre-French Jennifer Aniston and a great performance from the legendary actor Warwick Davis. This is a great film, very underrated. I mean, this film should be up there higher with the sort of horror greats and horror classics. In fact, Warwick Davis's Leprechaun character should be up there with Freddy, Chucky, Jason, all of those, but it's not as widely known about. So essentially this film is about a father and daughter. They get this new house, and it's like they get this house, they're going to do it up and sort of live in it, and unbeknownst to them, in the basement is this wooden crate, and inside the wooden crate is an evil demonic leprechaun who was put there by the previous owner because the previous owner stole his gold. It does sound crazy. It's a fantasy film. It's got a fantasy start and then it goes really into horror. But it's essentially a great film. It's one of those films where parts of it are so bad, it's good. Like when things happen, like this is ridiculous, but you're laughing at the ridiculousness of it, and you're enjoying it. I enjoyed this film from start to finish. And also this will make a really good gateway horror film for any young sort of budding horror fans in your family that want to watch horror films. That's sort of like one that's not too bad to start them off with. This is a certificate 15. But to be honest with you, it's not that bad, to be honest with you. There's a few gory moments in it, but there's like no sex, no drug take, anything like that. It is literally just this little leprechaun running around doing damage to people. Now, let's get on with the story. So the story is that they've got this painter and decorator team in it. So 3 guys that paint and decorate. You've got the stud looking one, who's obviously going to be the Jennifer Aniston love interest. You've got a guy that was in Teen Wolf, the chubby guy. I think they called him Chubbs in Teen Wolf. He's in it as well. He plays a sort of like slightly simple one of the 3 that do the painting. And you've got the younger one as well, who's this like young kid. And they're hired to paint this house and stuff. And one of them goes down into the basement and accidentally opens up the crate that the leprechaun's in. The leprechaun then bursts out. He's trying to find his pot of gold, and he'll go on a killing rampage until he discovers where the gold is. And we find out that the young kid and the and Chubbs from Teen Wolf have got the gold because they want to try. It's so sweet. They want to fix Chubbs' brain so he becomes more normal like everyone else because he's a bit simple. And the kid kind of said, "Oh, we can use this money to fix your brain. It'd be great." So they're kind of keeping hold of this gold. But the leprechaun wants his gold back. All he wants is his gold. He just wants his gold. You know, that's the Warwick Davis voice. And Warwick Davis in this is phenomenal. Like, the man is so good at playing evil with a little bit of comedy in it. He should be more, as I said, he should be up there with Jason, Freddy, Chucky. He should be at that level of horror iconicness because he's so good in this. He's so evil, but so charmingly funny at the same time. And he does this like weird little Irish accent that he puts on. Obviously, we all know Warwick Davis is British. He's got a British accent, but he does this little Irish accent. But because of his stature and because of the way he's sort of moving around and his ability to sort of emote his face, even under all of the makeup, it works so well. He's oh, I've got to get me a pot of gold and all this stuff. And he's running around and he's like, I got me magic and me clovers and all this. He's really upping the Irishness of it, the really sort of like the stereotype Irishness of it, and it's great to do. And it's because of Warwick Davis's like obviously dwarfism that he has. It's the way he kind of like walks around as well. It fits the character perfectly, and it fits the way the character's moving and sort of dancing a little bit and jigging as he's doing his nasty deeds. It is brilliant. Warwick Davis deserves something for this. I know it's kind of like one of these cult sort of followings, the Leprechaun, but it should be up higher. It should be part of like the pop culture because it's so well done. And like when he comes out, obviously he's on his kids, and he like does a lot of scratching of people, biting of people. At one point, you see him sort of gouge an eyeball out. So there's a little bit of goriness to this movie, but not enough to make you think, oh, I can't show that to a sort of younger audience. Obviously, don't go too young with it, but an audience that can deal with this sort of stuff. It's worth them seeing because it's a fun little gateway horror as well. So we've now got our hero sort of like trapped by this leprechaun, not knowing where he's going to come from because he's got a little bit of magical powers as well. He can like teleport and stuff like that, so you never know where he's coming from. And I say he's got a comical villain as well. So there's a scene in this where they're in the kitchen And he's popping out of cupboards. He's like, hello. And then they're opening the cupboards to try and find him. He's disappeared again. He's in another cupboard. Like, hello. Comes out of another cupboard. It's brilliant. And there's a scene where he's on like a skateboard and he's down the end of this hallway. And as they got the gun, they're trying to shoot him. He's sort of, wee. He goes like, wee, past him. And he's like back. And he's like, wee, on the skateboard, coming back the other way. He's really enjoying this role. It's such a great thing for him to be doing as well. But the Leprechaun is so funny. And it's just like, there's one scene where he's got a little tricycle thing. And obviously it's Warwick Davis. So he's on his little tricycle. He's like pedaling away on his little bike, almost like Billy from Saw. And he's like trying to get somewhere. And then like he gets to a thing, he kills a guy in a shop and that. And he sees they've got an electric car. His little kid stole electric car. He's like, I'm having that. He gets an electric car. He sees him driving his little electric car along. And the police pull over and he like kills the police officer. It's such a good film. I could not recommend this movie enough to anyone who hasn't seen it. Jennifer Aniston's great. She plays that great final girl role where she starts a very like posh and like that entitled sort of girl, and then she slowly sort of becomes sort of more heroic as it goes on. And she realizes she's got to like save this thing. When they find out how to defeat it, because they go. This is the bit where this film gets crazy. So they need to escape the house because the Leprechaun's got them kind of pinned into a house. Every time they try and come out, he tries to go after them. It's a bit like Cujo in a way, where he keeps going after him. So they then go off to, they send Jennifer Aniston off. She's got to try and find the original guy that lived in the house who'd had a stroke after like dealing with the Leprechaun. So she goes to the mental hospital, finds him, but the Leprechaun kind of beats her and kills the guy. But the guy has enough time to basically tell her that the only way to kill this thing is to find a 4-leaf clover. So then she gets to go back to where they were. Because she's like, well, how am I going to find them? And the guy says to her, by the well in where your house is, there's a patch of clovers. You'll find a 4-leaf clover in there. And there's a scene where they're like the 4-leaf clover bit, and they're trying to find a 4-leaf clover like crazy. And like, there's this weird green light on everything. Now, no one explains why there's random green lights in the outside the house. But anyways, so he's going through. They end up finding the clover, obviously. And that's what they use as a weapon against him. But it's so well done. How they do the big end final, like the big death scene at the end, is brilliant. I think it's fantastic. This film is so appreciated. I mean, yes, there's a bit of dodgy bad acting in it, and it is a very low budget early 90s horror movie. It feels more 80s as well. When you watch it, it feels like an 80s horror movie. But it's so good. I keep saying it over and over again. But I watched this movie and I had such a good time. I watched it with my nearly 9-year-old, no, my 9-year-old, nearly 10-year-old stepson, and he had a great time. But he kept asking questions like, why is this happening? What is this? What's going on there? There's a scene where they're trapped in the car and the car won't start and they have to do something with the alternator cap or something to make it work. They send the child out to fix it. And my stepson was like, why are they sending the kid? Why don't the adults go and sort this out? Like, it's just wrong that they've sent the child out to fix this thing. These demonic leprechauns running around killing people. It's such a funny film, like where you've got these like issues, like stupid things that the plot does, and you're like, what is happening? There's one scene again where they're in this car, and the leprechaun's kind of like, I think he's made it like MacGyvered this like lawnmower into like a go-kart style thing, but it's got like a pitchfork on the front of it, and he rushes at the car with his little car. He gets in and drives it through a shed door, runs into their car, and it somehow flips their car over. And it's like, my stepson was like, that wouldn't work, and he's only like nearly 10, and he's just like, that's ridiculous sort of thing. And there's a few moments in this film where he kept doing things like that, and it surprised me how knowledgeable he was in physics and real life situations, that he could understand that none of this could happen in real life. And you've got like the leprechaun who seems to have powers, but then they're not very good, but then they randomly are good when they need to be. Like, he can teleport, but he doesn't just teleport and just someone. He'll teleport, go, hello, and he'll start doing stuff to them. It is so much fun. As I said, this film, it was like, I started watching it at the very beginning of it, you're like, oh no, this is going to be awful. This is bad. And then as it ramps up, and as the sort of characters get more sort of involved, and as you get Warwick Davis doing more of his funny stuff, you start to thoroughly enjoy this movie. So give it the first half hour, you might get a bit, oh, this is ridiculous sort of thing. But then trust me, as it from there on in, it becomes so much fun. So give it a little bit of a chance. As I said, I was sitting there watching this and I was thinking, oh, this one's a bit awful. Like Jennifer Aniston, very woodeny sort of acting as well, very young, so she's obviously not good. Everyone else, it's kind of like, oh, this is a bit cheesy sort of acting. This isn't great. But then as Warwick Davis starts to sort of get into this like demonic leprechaun character, he just blows you away with all these like funny little puns. And he's got this funny Irish voice, because obviously he's got the dwarfism, right? We know Warwick Davis, legendary actor, he's got dwarfism. And it's saying about the way he moves in that leprechaun outfit with the prosthetics on, that it's just magic. Like, because he obviously walks differently to like a normal person would because of his dwarfism. He actually walks slightly a bit different. It works so well with his character, like the little runs he does, little walks he does, and that, and the movements. He does so much good acting and facial emotion because he's got a lot of prosthetics on his face. If you see, he's got always like stuff on his face, but he's still got working, like his mouth still works fine, his eyes are working fine, and he can give us terrifying look. Like, say about the way he does his eyes in this, he's like, but he can look menacingly evil, and like, he's great. His facial expressions are fantastic in this. I said he deserves a lot more credit for this movie than some of the other stuff he's done. I know he's like in Harry Potter. He was one of the teachers in Harry Potter. He's also the guy in charge at Gringotts Bank. He had prospects on there. And again, he looks evil in that. When he's playing that goblin that works in the bank, he sort of peers over at Harry. He looks evil. And then you see him as the teacher, he's more lovable. Like, oh, like, and it's that. But he sort of uses that when he does the Leprechaun, it's very much that, but when he's evil, and he can give like a look at the camera. They've got I said the prosthetics help, but it's all him doing this work. Fantastic stuff. He's up there with like Robert Englund, where I know they've done sequels to Leprechaun that don't have him in. I think he did the first like 5 or 6 movies, and then after that, I think they've changed it to someone else. But I don't think it would work with anyone else other than him, because even though he is British and he's putting on an Irish accent for this, but he's doing that stereotypical Irish accent on purpose because he is playing this leprechaun, for God's sake. So he's got to be the most stereotypical Irishness you could ever get. So it's all like, oh, me lucky charms, me pot of gold, and all that sort of stuff. It's that, but it works so well with the way he is and his stature and his movements and the way he moves, the way he emotes his face. Fantastic. So I think I've sold it enough for you now, because I'm literally still on a high from this movie because it was so much fun. Get yourselves down to wherever you can get like secondhand DVDs. Try and get yourself a copy of The Leprechaun, and maybe try and find on streaming. It's probably somewhere on streaming. You might have to pay for it, I don't know, but it'll be somewhere on streaming. It's definitely worth it. I mean, I went to CX and bought a copy of Leprechaun. This is actually the sequel, The Leprechaun Returns, but it actually has with it the original movie as well. So that's how I've got to watch it, the original one. It's not an 18. The original one's only a 15. This one's an 18. The sequel one's an 18. I don't know what that's like, but it's not Warwick Davis as the Leprechaun in it. So I'm kind of like, oh, it's going to be disappointing. However, I did see a box set in HMV the other day before I watched this one that had all of the Warwick Davis ones in one box set for about £8. And I was like, knowing you think I should buy that. And then I left the shop and I was like, I probably should have bought that. And when I got home, I was like, I really should have bought that bloody Leprechaun box set. I might go back to HMV, I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a great St. Patrick's Day, because that's what we're celebrating anyway today. And enjoy yourself. Don't drink too much, though, because I know people like to drink on St. Patrick's Day. I don't, but a lot of people do. They'll be wearing their funny hats down at the local Irish pubs and drinking away and having a good time. But please enjoy yourself. Drink responsibly, but enjoy yourselves. And maybe when you get home after a few Guinnesses, you might enjoy watching The Leprechaun. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know if this recommendation has sold it enough for you. And enjoy yourselves for the rest of your day. Bye. Happy St. Patrick's Day.